Left of the box. So the next story, it's not really a follow-up to a story, but there's a bit of a connection because I mentioned in a live stream 1 or 2 ago that, I think it was just the last live stream, that the minister, Melanie Joly, said that Canada was going to give $1 million to Israel to help investigate and support people of sexual violence perpetrated by Hamas, to Israelis that were harmed by the sexual violence from Hamas, and that $1 million and the resources of the RCMP would help go towards that. And then she said in a later statement that, oh yeah, we also care about Palestinian women. I should probably mention that. It's like, it's basically that tweet was an afterthought. And then she also mentioned in that tweet that $1 million was going to go towards the cause. But you see, in the one about Palestinians, it was left very vague as to where that $1 million would go. But in the one about Israelis, it was pretty specific where that $1 million was going to. So I suspect it's the same $1 million. It's not going towards helping anybody in Palestine. It's going towards the supposed victims from the Hamas terror attack. You can go back and watch the videos about it. But what I'm trying to say is, unique program that reviews sex assault cases with no charges to run out of funding. Yeah, so this is a federal program, where that $1 million would be coming from, that we could probably really use. A unique Canadian program meant to ensure sexual assault cases aren't closed inappropriately by police is set to run out of federal funding at the end of the month, its national coordinator said. The Violence Against Women Advocate Case Review Program is the only system in the world that brings together frontline experts and advocates to review every police sexual assault investigation that doesn't lead to charges in the areas it operates, according to Sunny Marner, who leads the project. The program was first set up in a few communities in 2016, but drew national attention after the Globe and Mail's 2017 investigation into sexual assault allegations dismissed as unfounded. It's currently in place in more than 24 communities across several provinces, including Ottawa, Kingston, Ontario, St. John's, New Brunswick, and Regina and Calgary. Committees are also in various stages of development in a handful of other communities, some of them held up by the uncertainty regarding funding, said Sunny, who previously worked as the executive director of the Ottawa Rape Crisis Centre. The program received a 3-year grant from Women and Gender Equality Canada that's set to run out on March 31st, Sunny said. It previously received a similar grant in its earlier years. The organizers have spoken to the federal government. So Sunny said it's been apparent to those in the field for decades that the vast majority of sexual assaults reported to police were not leading to charges. What we always hear is this huge emphasis on people saying that survivors are not reporting allegations to police, and I will always say that they're not focusing on the important question, which is that survivors who are reporting, the vast majority of them get sent home without any explanation or scrutiny or oversight, she said. There's no safety net for survivors when their cases don't proceed, so it's entirely about filling that gap. So the program has recently come under the spotlight again as the sexual assault case of 5 former members of Canada's World Junior Hockey team makes its way through the courts. That's a pretty big story up here that I haven't gotten around to covering because it's bad. It's bad. Police last month said the case, which was closed without charges in 2019 before being reopened 3 years later, had not been referred to the review program as it should have been. They declined to explain why, and the file was closed in the first place, cutting the court case. We need more programs like this funded by the government. And I know in my area there was a sexual assault crisis center that ended up getting defunded as well. Because, of course, the province is they look for anything to defund. And it falls into a mental health category, so it's not exactly considered a priority because it's not like mental health is covered under our universal health care. It relies solely on funding. And it would just be nice to have some consistency, and programs like this are needed. They're needed so much. There's very little incentive for people to actually go to law enforcement when they've been sexually assaulted. And there's so many people out there who have been sexually assaulted in ways that they know nothing will ever come of it. Like if you get groped in public, how are you going to report that if you don't know who did it? It was just some random stranger and you never saw them again. They're not going to take it seriously. So where's the incentive to put yourself through that stress and strain when the vast majority of cases aren't even investigated properly? Like a lot of the ones I know in my area were being labeled as unfounded, as in, oh, well, they were both drunk or something, so it wasn't really sexual assault. Like basically telling the person, yeah, we don't think it was really a criminal assault here that happened to you, so on your way. And yeah, it's just so much more needs to be done, and there needs to be a cultural shift. Again, it always comes down to there is no one surefire way of solving these things. It's multi-leveled, multi-layered, and all of them need to be dealt with at the same time. But instead, what we're running into is those layers being stripped away. Like the small little safety nets that we do get into place, the small little things that are helping, are being taken away